right. So this says.
Yeah. Follow the instructions here. What do we got?
Now, backstage, what you may or may not realize is there's a forest of people who make this happen.
Yes.
Who you never see.
That's right.
You don't care about. You'll never know their names, but they're all fantastic, and they're the only reason we can be here and do this. But then, like, they also make weird drinks for us.
Yes.
So this says, pour plastic cup into glass. And then there was like a wiener, and they scratched that out, and they put a heart.
Yes.
You can test to that and said Tech Crew.
Tech Crew.
All right, so
We've
I'm
got 2
supposed
servings
to,
of this.
I don't know what.
That's the plastic.
It
right?
smells,
No?
what does that smell?
I'm
Smell
sure
it.
it's just water.
Minty-ish? Yeah, all this is water, by the way.
Yeah,
don't worry about
it's water. No, that's more of a black licorice, if you will.
Oh, maybe like a Whoa! Magic trick!
Very much so magic.
Holy
Yes, yes.
All right. That was
there you
definitely
go.
Sampuca.
Yeah, Uzo.
Ready?
Uzo. You loso.
There you go.
Okay, well, salute.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're gonna watch it. There we go.
Salute Pincendo.
Salud.
Which means, may you live to be 100, which is a great toast, unless you're 99, and then it's like, I hope you drop dead within a year. All right,
First
there we
sip.
go.
First sip. You're welcome. Okay, so now we're gonna start
here's the
vanilla.
thing.
Yeah.
Do you
Can we
drink?
line up like
I
12?
drink?
Can we line up
No,
12 of
no,
these?
12 of them? No, that's just dangerous.
Just try it.
Why do you want me to do this?
Because it smells like pure alcohol, but it tastes like nothing, like smooth, like air, like.
I feel set up. You see how little of amount he poured for me right now? I feel
Well, just
absolutely
a
set up.
sip.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Black people don't do this at home.
Right?
Oh, you're right. It is
Kind
very
of tastes
airy.
like nothing.
It's black
It
jelly
smells-
bean. Like that's.
It smells like a licorice, like a all sort or a black jelly bean.
Wow.
But then you sip it, bupkis.
It
That's
made
what you
me
get out of it.
feel like an airplane flying
Cut
in
to
the
in
air.
20 minutes. I'm gonna be crawling on this ceiling like
Absolutely.
fucking Wolverine.
Absolutely.
Watch this. Like it tastes like nothing. Like, no shirt on, running through the streets of Des Moines.
That's exactly
Terror
why
at the
people are here.
Oktoberfest.
That's exactly why we came here. No, we are here to celebrate this amazing show that is a huge part of pop culture, especially
SpongeBob
for...
SquarePants.
Wow.
Let's talk about it.
SpongeBob wouldn't last a day with the Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Let's go. But I'd love to chat with you guys about the concept of what it was to make an animated show in the early aughts and what you went through to really kind of set up what this phenomenon has been. Dave, would you mind jumping in with that?
Well, at first I thought it would be funny if this were a SpongeBob SquarePants panel, and we just spent an hour just trashing SpongeBob because we were so jealous of
And
it.
another thing, how's that squirrel live under the sea? She's never refilling her air tanks.
Ever.
Stupid! I would have
She'd
killed
be
that. I
dead
would have
years
killed that
ago.
in the development
The
room.
show's been on 25 years. She's been dead years.
They ran out of ideas back
You
in
never see her up
2007.
on the surface repurposing her air tanks.
Yeah, Krabby Patties. Like you're gonna have an underwater restaurant. I seen a bunch of underwater restaurants in Florida. Let me tell you, they ain't singing songs right now.
And they-
no,
and
they're,
by the way,
they're making insurance claims.
The guy who sells the Krabby Patties is a crab.
Yeah, that's
so is he
right.
serving himself? Think about it. Nobody thinks about that because they count on kids being stupid.
filled with holes, complete logic
Yeah.
disparities.
We could
left
blast
and right.
the shit out of that show, but we're not going to. Professional courtesy.
That's right. I love the idea
Much
that-
like, you know that joke, this guy walks into a bar and he goes, I just want everybody in this place to know that all lawyers are assholes. And this guy at the end of the bar goes, hey, I take real offense to that. He goes, what are you, some kind of lawyer? He goes, no, I'm an asshole. That's a good joke. It's all right.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
It's dirty. Just a bad word, though. Sorry.
What was your question again?
So to make this show, right, what was the landscape of television at the time that you were coming up with this one?
The landscape of television where we were making television
yes.
in Atlanta.
Yes.
I mean, they had just bought Hanna-Barbera. Like Ted Turner had bought Hanna-Barbera and just the warehouse of garbage that came with it.
Right.
And just turned it in an overnight, trademarked Cartoon Network, and just started a network. And then Matt Malero and I wrote for a show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Big shout out.
That's right. Big ups for
That's right.
that.
That's right.
Smaller subset of this crowd. And
Nuanced.
But and that was just a desire that was just reworking these old and using the animation from the 60s.
Right.
So you didn't pay for it at all.
Right.
You just paid the cost of an editor to just relip the lip flap and then just some local radio Yahoo.
Right.
I love him. George Lowe, super
shout out.
funny voiceover guy, and we just rewrite scripts, and it's very cheaply done, very fun, amusing ourselves only, and then we came up with Aqua Teen, I think, when we just got bored with writing Space Ghost.
Well, wasn't the thing too? So you came up with the Aqua Teens for a Space Ghost episode, right?
Yes, but that
and
was.
Lazo said you couldn't do it.
Matt and I had written like 50 episodes of Space Ghost together, and at that point, I think we were just burned out on the character, and we wrote an episode of Space Ghost where Space Ghost doesn't get a word in edgewise because the Aqua Teens just take over. Technically, the backstory was Space Ghost had bought 300 hamburgers from a local hamburger joint and then didn't realize that it cost money, so he had to make a deal with the owner of the hamburger restaurant to have his corporate mascots featured very prominently in one of his episodes, but he didn't know that they were sentient.
This is sort of groundbreaking because this is the real genesis of the Aqua Teen.
Absolutely.
Which I've never heard this.
You hadn't heard that idea?
I've heard that they were on Space Ghost, but I didn't hear that was the gag behind it.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like very prominently displayed. And that's what I think Shake says that. Back when his voice sounded a little bit like one of the Moonanites, he was like, we should be prominently displayed in front of the camera at all times. And Dana sort of evolved the character into his.
Now, let me do that. We should be prominently displayed in front of the camera at all times.
Make some noise for that, y'all. I know y'all got
pretty,
excited about that. Come on. I love
And
it.
Meatwad was supposed to be just like sad and pathetic, and he knew how bad he was. Meatwad was a product that the company. The company was called Wet Burger Trench, and
Sexy.
and they
Sexy.
tried to take all the scrap hamburger that the FDA wouldn't let them sell, and put it together and sell it for $6, which at the time was a very expensive hamburger, and they wouldn't put it on bread, so they made the ad line,
The burn is in your mind.
and and it was filled with honey mustard dipping sauce, so you had to break it open to get to the dipping sauce to dip it, so it was real messy. So Meatwad would quite often say,
Please, God, kill me. But then he just evolved into a real sweet, happy dude.
This
I
is
didn't know any better.
See, this is the amazing thing, because I think one of the things that is necessary for up-and-coming creatives to understand is when you have a show as pop culturally prolific as Aqua Teen has been, it starts with something small sometimes, and it just grows and grows and grows. When you, as storytellers, allow story to happen, is it a frightening thing for you, or do you try to have a hand on the wheel the whole time?
well, that's an interesting question. I mean, I don't think most people have the courtesy of time.
Fair.
Quite often, and stuff gets killed well before it gets the time to develop and ferment. I mean, like, who here knows Too Many Cooks? All right, so, yeah, I mean, Casper Kelly's a good friend of mine, and he sat in edit with that thing for a year.
Wow.
And, you know, nobody in LA would have greenlit that thing, but there's no way anyone in LA would have let him just do reshoots and just constantly chip away at this thing for a calendar year.
Right.
And that's why it
No
came
one
out.
anywhere. It's
Yeah.
not like people in New York were like, I'd let him do this. Just
Yeah.
those LA folk.
And it's not like it
Yeah.
even cost that much money. It didn't. I mean, a lot of favors and stuff, but I think the element of time and reflection and being able to watch and sit on it and marinate in it, just sort of, marinate. That I use that verb. Really helped it become what it became, like allowed him to take those extra steps and make it something really special, you know, that people care about, you know. And I don't think a lot of people in positions of power in the entertainment industry are willing to take those risks, you know. But it's like an editor of ours that used to say this all the time: good, fast, or cheap, pick any two.
That's right.
And I think that's true, you know.
That was what we used on my honeymoon. Same phrase. Help! This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Dana, when it comes to Master Shake,
Yes!
I'm curious, how much of that is a personal stance from you, or
Personal
a
stance.
personal stance from you, or an emulation of someone
I
you
think
know?
he should really be a jerk. I refuse to play this any other way.
Yeah, is he
I
based
mean,
on
the
someone you
problem
know,
is it's like my real voice. Just
Sure.
like heightened real voice.
right?
What's the question?
Is he based on someone that you know, or is this somewhat you getting to let
Well,
loose
I
some
mean,
of
I
the things
didn't. I mean, I don't write the part. This is probably based on someone.
We didn't know what
Dave
we didn't know
knows.
what Shake should sound like
Okay.
initially, and we were toying with Christopher Walken sounded like. It's like we should be out.
No, Dana can do
we
it.
should
Dana,
be
come on, Dana.
in front of the camera at all times.
I can't do Christopher Walken. I'm the worst.
I can't
I'm the
do
worst
anything.
person at
I'm
any
the
celebrity
worst.
impersonation. Like, name a celebrity. Any celebrity. Wait. Whoopi Goldberg. I could probably do Whoopi Goldberg better. Welcome to The View. I'm Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, hamina. Yeah, I'm the worst at celebrity impersonation.
That was hilarious.
My agent used to like send me. There's these auditions. A lot of times you get called voice match.
Of course.
So like they want you. So basically, what it is like, you know, maybe like the movie of something. Like, I don't know, whatever movie you're watching, lady, whatever that movie was, and there's like a star in it, but then they're doing like a cartoon of it, and they're like, well, clearly, you know, whoever the guy in the movie is not going to do this piddly TV one of it. So they're like, I know what, let's get some little schmucky guy to come in and sound exactly like him, and the stupid people watching this will never know that it's not the rich, famous movie star. It's just a stupid schmucky guy. But they used to send me all the time. Like, can you sound alike for this guy? Whoever it was.
Sam
I would-
Elliott.
Who would?
Sam Elliott.
Well, I'm going to take it. I can't do it. I can't. I'm terrible at all of them. I'm terrible at all of them.
I want to say though that we didn't know what the characters should sound like, and I asked an old girlfriend of mine who used to be an improv actress, and she was like, "Oh, you should call this guy Dana Snyder. He's like a real a-hole." And no, she had told me for years how funny Dana was, and I'd never met him, and then so really just on a complete. I think of how many times this show could have not gotten made.
Sure.
And this was one of them where it was just like, this is just such a lark for me to call this guy who I did not know, who I had never worked with, but I was like, well, I know this guy will work non-union. Hayden definitely said he'd do anything for money.
He has nothing.
So I don't remember even how I don't know if I called you or emailed you.
I
or-
think you probably called or emailed me, so also I don't remember. But like, I mean, I know I left, my audition was over the phone on his voicemail
Oh, wow.
pre,
Yeah,
you know.
wait. Explain what voicemail is to some
Yeah.
of the young ones.
All right.
on
To
my
the
work
young
email,
games,
voicemail, yeah.
this was like a voice, what do you call it, a answering machine.
Answer machine. There you go.
Boop. You had to listen to your messages in order. If there was the one you really wanted to get, tough nuts. You had to listen to 5 messages before that. This is Don from Don Bardo's whatever. Yeah, but like I remember I was at my apartment and my friend, not this Dave, a different Dave, came and he had come to New York and he was staying with me, and we went to the place across the street, Brews. We had dinner, we had drinks. It's a little like bar pub, like the Royal Mile over here, and that same night in New York, once a year, when Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus would come to town, they would park the trains in Queens, and they would bring the animals through the Midtown Tunnel and down 34th Street. Brews was on 34th Street. So all the bars and things on 34th Street used to have like a little party. So we went, we had dinner, we had drinks, and then like, it's now like 1:30 or something. Got to wait till late for the traffic. But all of a sudden you could look out the window of the restaurant, and all of a sudden there's the elephants, trunk to tail, holding each other's trails, like marking down. And then there's like the camels, and they go from biggest animals to the littlest animals. But this was like amazing. And then like we get back to my apartment, and I go, because I'm so distracted, and I go, oh shit, I got to read this script for this guy on his voicemail thing. So then I left it at like 3 a.m. And then Dave got it the next day, and then somehow he erased it before he played it for the boss. And then I had to do it again.
You forgot the part where I said it was great, and I loved it.
Oh, no, I'm getting to that part.
But I said that, and I accidentally deleted it.
Yeah.
But I also didn't think I'd need it. So.
Yeah. And they said, like, could you do it again? So then I did it again at, like, whatever, 11 in the morning the next day after I'd been out drinking and eating and everything. And he was like, yeah, I don't know, man. It just doesn't sound quite the same. Could you do it again? And then
Did you not vomit in the middle of it?
I grabbed my friend Dave. I was like, we have to Groundhog Day this exact last night. We went back to the same restaurant, got the same food, I did the same everything. Then I got
No elephants, though, right?
no elephants.
I think you can cut that part out of the story. I think it's completely irrelevant.
Well, it's sort of like a little whimsical part of it. Like it's
Okay.
like a fantasy.
Just saying,
kind of
you
thing.
workshop this. I've heard this story a number of times. Like every time the elephants come up,
But here's
I'm
the
like,
thing.
don't need it.
They haven't. The
Okay,
thing is,
okay,
the first
okay.
time you heard that story, there were sparks in your eyes. You were riveted.
It was the elephants that did it all. I love
Yeah.
it. I do want to invite you guys to ask a question. We've got a microphone over here, so if you want to line up on this side, we will open things up for you to ask a question. My last one for you guys before we go to them, though, is was there a story that you determined was too far to do in Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
No. I don't think so.
That
You
was a very
lost them.
pregnant pause
They're
right
leaving
there.
now. They're leaving.
We
Mario's out.
We did a whole episode where they built a ship out of severed penises to go to some penis planet.
Which
and
is
I'm
why
trying
I
to make
asked.
this all ages.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Those are medical terms.
yes.
yeah. So I would say no bad idea didn't get used.
Well said.
And that one's a bad idea.
I got a question for you. Is there an idea you had that you guys actually made that you wish you had executed differently?
That's a great one.
Like an idea for a show, but we should have done it like this. That it would have been better.
Is there one you think of? Because
No.
I do think that there was a period there, maybe closer to the end of the run, where maybe it wasn't. We got not lazy, but we were just doing so much that some of those later episodes might have slipped a little bit. But then I felt like we got the pride back there at the end, and really pulled it back together. And I love the movie, and I love the 5 that we made recently, and I think that sort of went back to those first 10 episodes were almost. All of them had some element of a rejected idea from Space Ghost. So they were all sitting in the background, and we would, this was a fun, it's like we go to the lab, and, this was a fun idea. We put all these things together that,
Yeah.
like there was one Space Ghost script we wrote that I loved. It was very funny. Like Space Ghost bought a doll, like a dancing doll, and it would constantly sing. And this was well before Rick rolling was ever a thing. It would sing Rick Astley songs. It would sing like "Never Gonna Give You Up," and he loved this doll. Loved it so much he wanted to marry it.
Oh.
And the doll danced into a fireplace because it did not want to be married to Space Ghost. And it was so dumb. And I think that was one that Mike was like, I hate this. And I feel like that idea somehow found its way into Aqua
Jigglebilly.
Teen. Yeah, maybe it was Jigglebilly. Yeah. So, I mean, we had lots of sort of scraps and remnants of, remember that script we wrote that they killed that Mike said was the worst? let's bring that back.
That's brilliant. I love that. We gonna open up? Feel free. No worries. You're allowed to be first. It's all good. Don't be shy, y'all.
Don't let that guy take your
Let
place.
the dude in the
my
powder
God.
blue sweats. No, child. Let
Thank
the man, the well-dressed gentleman in the front with the good hair.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Let him.
Thank
do,
God
let
also
him
they
ask
put the
first
microphone.
question.
Thank
We
God
got
they
the
put
little
the
rascals
microphone
over there.
175 feet away from where any people are sitting.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
He's courteous. He's going to let you talk first.
Okay. There's a lot going on up here. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Hello.
What would you say was your favorite episode to record, if you remember?
Favorite episode to record?
It's a very good question.
Yes.
Thanks for putting on the if you remember part, because that's very... I mean, I do remember one episode, and I only remember it because you laughed a long time. And it made me feel real good, because I always knew Dave is a great voiceover director. He's excellent at it. You don't know that he directs all the voice. And like a lot of times people who make a show, they direct the voice, but they're not that good. Dave is, I work with a lot of different cartoons and stuff. Dave is incredible at it. And when you can get him to laugh, the good thing about him and Matt is they're very generous with their laughter. Like if they think something's funny, they'll laugh. Like some people, like I don't laugh out loud a lot at stuff, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. But Dave and Matt really laugh a lot. And there was one episode, I don't even remember what episode it was, but we had one improvised line, and Dave laughed for probably 5 minutes. And it was something about, it was Meatwad had a pair of underwear that had a poop stain in it. And it was something like
Real highbrow stuff.
Yeah, we're talking elevated.
This is art
Yeah,
here. Come on,
if you
come
don't
on.
know.
Yeah.
We're at the Louvre. No. But like the line I said was something along the lines of like, yeah, those are racing stripes if you consider diarrhea a sport. And Dave just like for like 10 minutes, like we just stopped. He just laughed. I was like, all right, I did it. Goal accomplished. So I don't remember what episode it was, but I also do know, like, I think that was in the show. It did make it in the show.
Oh, yes, it made it. It definitely made it.
But, yeah.
Well, sometimes you'll do shows and people are like, you said but, and it's an and there, and
Oh, yeah.
or there's a slight pause where that comma is, where they really just micromanage you in a way, and we probably oversold it in a way where we say, we improv the whole show, and then people are like, you just make that off the top of your head, and we're like, no, we have scripts, but I think by the time we're reading them, we're so bored with them that, we want to plus it. I want to make up stuff that makes Matt laugh. I know Dana want to make stuff that makes us laugh. And that stuff usually, and Carrie universally puts his own spin on it, and that stuff usually is what makes
Well, the
final
other thing
thing.
is you guys have an advantage that, like, sometimes, like, you do a show, like, do a show for whatever. Like a Disney show or Nickelodeon or something. They have a voiceover director. They're directing the voiceover. They have nothing to do
the rest of
with
the
the
episode.
writing of it, the creating. So like they don't really have a place. They can't say, yeah, you know what? You could. It's all right that you don't say this line the right way. They're sitting there with this much pressure, like, oh God, if I don't get SpongeBob to say these lines exactly as written, I'm gonna be murdered by Nickelodeon. Like, and I get it. Like, everybody's got to do their thing,
Right.
and like sometimes, when the creators are there, like I've done shows that's not the creators directing. That's like, yeah, they could like have fun with this.
Right.
That's like their code. Have fun. Like that means just make up shit. Just do something stupid. But like you guys have great.
Yeah, and they also will have, yes, like Dana said, they'll have some professional director will do it, but they want to continue getting hired, and sometimes they don't even really think about the script in terms of how it needs to be done, so they'll get every variation of a line. Like, so SpongeBob, so the editor will get in there and go, well, I've got SpongeBob saying it happily, saying it whimsically, saying it nostalgically, but the line is, where are my square pants? And he's not saying it angrily. Like, and they just get you to read it every different way, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's no sort of choice and there's no thought going into it.
Well, what's interesting, speaking of SpongeBob, is because Tom Kenny directs the voiceover stuff, who is the voice of SpongeBob.
Right.
He directs the stuff for all the Spongiverse, and I'm in the Spongiverse. But, like, I can tell, like, sometimes he takes, what do you want to call it? Like,
Liberty?
overshot, over-liberty. Like, he's in charge.
Okay.
He's like, no, we're going to change this line. We're just going to, just do it like this. And like, everybody else working on it now is like, I can't tell
you're not allowed.
SpongeBob that we're not doing.
It's his
work.
show.
He was like, no, we're going to change this line and just do it like this. Like, yeah, no, we got it. And they're like, and you'll hear, because we do it on Zoom a lot of times, and they'll be like, we actually need it one more time whimsically. And it'll be like, no, we got it. You're like, ooh, all right.
Yeah, well, that's one way to make sure that it doesn't appear that way in the cartoon is just don't record it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
And and also people will just be like, they'll slate every line. They'll say, take two, and it's just like nobody can get into a rhythm. You got to get into a rhythm. I mean, we had a guy, Patton Oswalt, who, is great at voiceover.
Yeah, you're allowed to clap for Patton, please.
Yeah,
He knows what I'm talking about.
But we
I
had
wasn't
him
talking
do the
about
frat aliens, and he would just do these long runs as these two different aliens back to back to back, almost like in real time.
That's wild.
Well, I mean, because we don't look for voiceover pros so much as we look for like comedians that are really good on the mic, rappers that are really good on the people who are just good at projecting and have unique quality to their voice. And he was the example of a guest star that was really great.
Love that. Thank you. That was a great question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Make it short. Make it short. Let me tell you. I got tiny patience for this because you're stealing my vibe. You're stealing my look.
All right, then. How the hell did I do a commencement speech? What's the story behind that?
Oh, the commencement speech.
Yeah.
Someone else asked me about that recently, and I was like, what happened? I think I had long COVID. Well, nobody was going to walk, so then they had me they were getting some characters to do a commencement speech. I don't remember.
Wait a minute. What is this? Please explain what this is.
There is a Carl commencement speech that I did in the middle of COVID, like 2020, and it was for graduates that couldn't walk or whatever. And
Oh, just not for any particular university.
no,
just like-
yeah, it's like
for those of you-
it's like a 6-minute tirade from Carl. It's like, you think you're so smart with your square hat, you walking around. I didn't have to get no higher education. I quit school in the 8th grade. Let me tell you, I bet I got more money than you, because you know why? Because someone run over my foot at a Wawa parking lot. I'm still getting paid for that. Still getting paid. No, I don't. Man, that's all there is to that. Is that it was just COVID, and they were just like, yeah, it'd be really cool. I think Matt Harrigan had the idea of getting some characters to do some sort of virtual commencement speech. It's still on Still online, but that's all I remember about it. Yeah.
Matt, you'll be saying the same thing in 20 years. It's still online.
That's all I remember.
I'm sure it's somewhere out there in the
It's
internet.
on the brain thing.
I love it. I love it.
I was kidding, though. Do you have another question, or?
No, just thank you for the show. I've been watching since I was 12. Probably shouldn't have, but thank you very much, Roy.
That's awesome.
You're very close. They say it should be 14 and up. So
You
12 is pretty.
I
you
admire
12?
your
You
attention to
14.
detail. What is
Okay, good.
what does the medallion say?
Ferrero Rocher.
It should say there should be only one. There can be only one.
So I gotta warn the room. We only have like 5 minutes left. So
Oh.
we'll try to speed round through this. But before we get out of here, we're gonna do a stage selfie. So you guys are gonna get to line up here, and we're gonna take a selfie with the guys. And there is an opportunity to buy that outside. So I just want to give you guys that heads
It's
up.
all on the outside.
all on the outside.
Not
Hello,
in here.
What are your
Out
favorite
there.
characters to voice? Make it quick.
Favorite
Oh
characters.
my God! How about you make it quick, Kalani? Jesus! Now they're rushing me. Make it. How about a guy asking you a question
he was
and then
making it
saying,
quick.
"Make it quick"?
No, he was making it quick. He was going for the quick.
No, I
question.
know. But no offense. It's just like I like the
How very
jerkiness.
dare you.
I appreciate the jerkiness. I got a question and make it quick. I want an answer from you. Make it quick. Don't waste my time. I need this now. I got to get out of here. My car's running. I'm in the red. I don't know, Kalani. Maybe. I mean, Master Shake will always be.
Absolutely.
I would lie if I said, because everything else was always from that.
I mean, Meatwad,
I use this voice like every single dang day. This is how I talk to my cats.
Your poor wife.
This is how I talk to babies on the street in a stroller. I'll say, "Hey, little baby, how you doing?" And then I'll see "Where you going, baby?" Because I'll see the parents back away slowly. So stay away from the middle-aged man that don't talk like that.
What's worse? Imagine you're walking down the street, a sidewalk. All right, you're a 35-year-old lady. You got your beautiful 6-month-old baby, and you walk up, and Dave Willis approaches you, and he says,
Are you sleeping through the night? How's it going, little baby?
What's
Do
worse?
you want you some milk, little baby? Ask your mama for some milk, little
"That?
baby.
What's worse, that or this?" "Hey, what's that little baby? Hey, I got little cheeks on that little thing. I'm gonna pinch that little face off." What's worse? I don't know. Depends who you are.
There's no real
What your
answer.
kid's like. What your kid reacts to.
I do legitimately use that voice with all of our animals at the house, and the dog hates it and bites me when I use it. The
That's how you
dog
know it's working.
starts to jitter and look at me and starts to show me the bottom teeth. But Carl's great because I like to. I can unleash my id in an unhappy way.
I love that. Hello.
Speaking of the new movie that came out, or whatever, I don't. Do you guys?
Or whatever. Whatever it was. Doesn't matter what it was. Maybe an album, maybe a movie, who knows? Maybe
No, I
just
mean,
like
it's
a
not
thought.
super-
Yeah.
It's not super new, but it's the newer one.
Yeah.
Do you guys celebrate Arbor Day?
Do
Plant
you
trees?
celebrate Arbor Day?
Are you an idiot? Of course we celebrate Arbor Day. That's the whole point of that movie.
Earth
We
first.
are.
Hey, did for those of you that saw the movie, did you text the number that the Mooninites told you to text?
Be honest. Be honest.
Please do if
did.
you didn't.
Don't look
it's
at
worth
him.
it.
I'm talking
we
to
won't
you.
steal. We won't steal your
you didn't.
identity. It's
Okay.
worth doing. I think.
Find out. Find out. Be somebody. Do something.
I think so, but I will say
Don't
that
sit in a darkened room. Go out and do something.
we did write like 200 texts that the Mooninites were supposed to just bomb you with during the course. Like it was supposed to make your phone so hot that you couldn't keep it in your pants. And
Didn't
then-
the lawyers say the lawyers
were
said
like, "We can only
you actually
afford-"
can't do this much.
They were like,
It's-
we can only afford 9 of these. And I was like, we just wanted it to make a point where you had to shut your phone off.
To
put it in
be
the
as
other room.
annoying as changing the name of your show every season.
We wanted to
You
text
wanted to be so
months
annoying.
months later with,
Right.
and they wouldn't let us do it.
That's hilarious.
Still around.
Hey, so how much of a show would you say is written by, a nerd in a room versus, the collaboration with you? It has like a very improvisatory feeling to it. And so, like, where
a
would
nerd in a room?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well-
for lack of a better word. I mean, that's how most jobs work, right? You have some.
Bring me the nerd in the room. We need to make this. Hello, Game of Thrones. George R.R. Nerd.
Unlock the
Martin.
basement. Awaken the nerd in the room.
Release the nerds.
That's the name of your next
HBO needs some more shows.
The nerd in the room.
Just a weird vault door opening. You go to the Game of Thrones room, you to the Penguin room.
Look at the
Oh,
real
sorry.
Dave's head.
You to the Game of Thrones. You to the Penguin room.
Dave's over here writing like,
write.
yes. This is
Writing.
Jerry Lewis.
Bring me the writing nerds.
Nerd from the room. The nerd from the room.
I write the Penguin. Go the show.
Could have been anywhere, but it was the nerd in the room.
That's what matters.
No,
That's the sequel to Gone Girl. The nerd in the room.
the girl with the dragon tattoo.
The girl with the dragon tattoo and the nerd in the room.
The nerd with the dragon tattoo.
Yes.
That's what that is.
The nerd with the dragon
All right, we got
tattoo
one last question.
in the room.
To answer your question, though, Matt Bolero and I wrote all the episodes, and then we made shit up.
There were two nerds in the room.
Two nerds in the room.
Percentage-wise, it was like 80% of the writing, and then they would unleash the voice actors to really get in there.
But everything was scripted. There was nothing made up. It
Exactly.
was just like maybe improvisation, but off of a line that was
Believe me,
already written.
if it was all made up, you would hate it. we would not
It'd
have
be
made
like
it
a
past
fever
one.
dream.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your question, my friend?
So, about how long did it take you guys to get from like the storyboarding part of an episode to actually making it to air?
Storyboards. Just kidding.
Are you talking about for the first one, or are you talking about how we?
Like an average episode, let's say. Like
meaning from the finished animatic, from like the approved animatic.
yeah.
Few weeks, maybe. I mean, if we had to, we'd bang. I mean, well, that's not true. It would probably take a few weeks of animation and then another week with audio, and just creating sound effects and music and just sort of making that all better.
I'm just trying to tell. They're looking
I mean,
at
if
the
we
door.
had,
and saying,
if we
"Just
had
come in if they
to,
want."
4 weeks, but probably a little longer because we're spinning a bunch of different plates all at once.
But
so.
also, like, you should explain, like, I mean, you guys worked on such a lean system compared to a lot of cartoons. Like, that's what I say, like, when you're talking about storyboards, like, they didn't even do storyboards. Like, their animatic was the storyboard almost, right? I mean...
Right. We would just put together Photoshop files. So we never had a storyboard artist. It's like I said, good, fast, and cheap. We'd like to think we were good, but we definitely weren't fast. Like, we had one editor that would just labor over creating these storyboards for weeks instead of having a storyboard artist that would just crank out all of them in a week. But we were already paying this guy's salary, so it was like, all right, you spend the next month doing this.
Yeah.
It was just how it worked out. We didn't know how to make cartoons. It was having people that don't know how to make cartoons given the job to make cartoons.
But making a brilliant pop cultural piece, though. So you did phenomenal with that. Guys, make some noise, show some love to Dave.